Hey, welcome back. So today we have a couple Govee products that I purchased, and this video is going to be about the Govee outdoor permanent lights. Really excited to get this product up. It's just before July 4th. Is really going to explode here in around our town. So looking to get these permanent lights up and get some red, white, and blue across them, having those in plenty of time for the Christmas holiday and not having to mess with the Christmas lights. Really, it's going to be exciting. So I'm going to start with opening this up and showing you what we got in store for today. And then we're going to go ahead and put those up, and I'll show you the finished product as well. And as you can see, we have some other Govee lights here as well. So there's going to be another video regarding the string lights that we're going to put up around our deck. So stay tuned for that as well. So here we go. All right. So I went ahead and got everything opened up here so I can show you the items in the permanent set that we have for the outdoor lighting. We did buy the 150-foot variety. That's the biggest one that they had this time because we really needed all of that linear foot to be able to cover the front of our house appropriately. So you see the power adapters, the first item that I have here to show you, and it has the outdoor connection on that to go over to the power switch that they have included as well. This looks like it has a pretty lengthy cord here, so that should be really good for our application. With the main unit, we have a couple of spare parts in here. So I'll open this up quickly and be able to show you what is in this. So with this, we just have a couple little brackets, mounting options here for the wall, as well as some O-rings in here. So that's just a little hardware packet for the overall product. And then we have three of these boxes that are in the larger box that have the lights themselves in it. So I'll show you what's in here. We have the light strips themselves. They're bundles of three. They're actually three separate kits. Let me unscrew this here. This is the outdoor connection. So it's a nice little screw-on connection here. Each one of these has, looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 lights per set. 6 and 6 there. So nice little bundle here. Should be able to keep it relatively easy on the application side so that we aren't tangling wires because that means our over 150 feet, we have 9 sets of lights to do that. So I guess that's probably about 15 feet or so, give or take, for each set. And then in each one of these boxes, you also get a couple of extras. So we have the mounting, the little clips that we mount. So I'll get that a little closer here. We mount these clips on the wiring at certain locations, and that information, I believe, is in the instructions as well regarding exactly where you mount that on the wiring. And then we have a couple of extra 3M pieces of the stickers that are actually on the back of the lights themselves. I failed to mention that each of the lights has a 3M on the back of it as well. So you can stick them up, use those little clips that you screw in and have 3M on them, and then those two work together to hold the lights up. They're fairly light, so I think that should work out really well. So that's what's in each of these boxes. It's the same contents of each of those. We also have a little instruction manual that came with the kit, and then the last item here are two extensions. I believe these are 12-foot extensions. So these are gaps in your lights. We actually are really blessed, I guess, that we aren't going to we aren't planning to have any gaps in our lights, so we won't need the extensions. But if you have a situation where you have a multi-story house or some odd different gable fronts that don't connect, depending on how your house is laid out, then you may need these. We do have a couple gable fronts and a couple of recessed areas, but we plan to run the lights continuous back through all of those recessed areas. So again, I don't think that we're going to actually use any of the extensions. One of the negatives that I did see was difficult to get additional extensions if you need those. And I know that a few people have claimed on the internet that they've actually cut apart the lights and did some soldering and such. But if you do anything like that, you're going to void your warranty, I'm sure. So just a heads up on the extensions. If you really do some good planning, you could probably work with what's in the box. So now that I showed you the contents of the box, I'm going to go ahead and fire these up and just test some of the lights so you can see what that looks like. All right. I went ahead and just laid the strings together and connected them from one end to the other. So the end on the left here is the end closest to the receptacle, and then as we move across to your right, this will be the last set. So when I plug these in, you'll see them flash, and then you'll see the rainbow move throughout. So I'm going to go ahead and plug these in. And there you saw the flash with the rainbow um, moving throughout the lights here. So you can see that you get a good rainbow effect when you plug these in initially. So it looks like everything is working and working properly here. So the next step is the exciting one. All of the effort to go ahead and put these up, and hopefully it's going to be a pretty easy process. I think it will be, with looking at these and feeling the weight and looking at our application situation. I think it's going to be really successful and easy. So we'll go ahead and move outside and look at getting these up. Here you can see me up on the ladder at the tallest point of the installation at our house, which was at the top of the gable front. So what they recommend is cleaning the surface first. So what I had done was used rubbing alcohol and a rag and made sure I cleaned each of the spots really well. Another thing I did as I was, preparing for the installation of the lights was I created a guide. So I cut a piece of cardboard that was the recommended distance from the wall, so I could merely hold up the cardboard and fasten the lights without having to measure each light and making sure they were all uniform as I was installing those. So as I said, I used rubbing alcohol and then peeled the back of the 3M off of each light, used that guide for the cardboard that made sure I was the right distance, and then stuck up the lights to the soffit. And anywhere that it wasn't a clean installation on the soffit, I used some 3M Extreme outdoor tape that is holding really well so far. And once you stick lights up, they also recommend that you put the clips on the strings, and that's about 4 clips per string, so about every 3 lights. Their official directions say that you do it before the first, fifth, and ninth light, and then after the last one on each string. I'm using the drill to install those, as you can see here, and that makes sure that they're fastened up really well. And then when you're in between the strings, there is a connection, a watertight seal with an O-ring that you screw together. And then at the very end of the last string, you merely need to cap it with the included cap. So it's a really easy installation process. Probably the most difficult part is being up on the ladder to install them. Here are the permanent outdoor lights installed. What I did was I ran it up under the soffit per their instructions, and then ran it down in behind the corner for the siding. So it's tucked in over in here the whole way down. And then down here I have it taped up, but if you get down low, you can see it. So it run over this small piece, runs behind that, and then down underneath the corner, and it comes right into the garage because not all the pieces are weatherproof. So then I have it back up behind, and then it's plugged in inside the garage. So that's the way I got around the fact that the control box and the power supply were not weatherproof. I went ahead and ran it along the soffit the whole way,
And you can see there's a couple spots that look different. I'm still trying to figure out if I want to paint those or what I want to do, but that's where the soffit's recessed, where the light landed. So that's some um, extreme 3M tape, outdoor tape. So it's rated for like 30 pounds with a larger area, but that should be plenty for those. So I'm going to see how that works out. It's been a couple weeks since I hung them up, and they look to be, doing pretty well now. I don't see any lights that are hanging down, whether it was the OEM stickers or the 3M Extreme that I purchased. And I got lucky there, got it tucked in a little bit at the corner there where it was the end of one of the strings. And I came down and around the beam we have over our front porch, and then continued, and we did recess it back into the front porch here to light up the stone and then prevent having to use the recessed lights here, every night. We're going to use the Govee instead. And then we ran it along the edge of the soffit up above the spout, and then we went across the gable fronts here again up along the soffit, and then back in this little recessed area and along the soffit again of the other gable front, and then down around the corner. And then I basically just ran it until we ran out. We had 150 feet, and we didn't want to end it over just around the corner because you can see the end of a string was right here. So we could have chose to end it there, but we chose to just go ahead and use the rest of the string. I got it maybe a little bit sloppy here at the end because I was trying to avoid using the 3M tape near the end of the string. So I wanted to just get it a good surface so there's a little bit of slack in between the last couple of bulbs right in this area. And then the very end, you can see it's sort of hanging down. That was because this is a slanted area from the ground, and I didn't have the ladder far enough, and I didn't get back up there to put that back up yet. But that's why, it ends like that. And then I'm going to go ahead and take a video at night so you can see what it really looks like. But I wanted to give you an idea of what it looks like during the day and, the finished product. Unless you're really looking up here, you really don't notice this coming up to the house. So it's pretty good that it's relatively hidden. It's inconspicuous here when we're not really using them. And then I'll show you tonight what the outside looks like when it's lit up.
So this is the first example of us using the lights. This was a July 4th decoration that I had programmed to rotate through the lights. This is our normal daily setup we have. I'm going to go ahead and show you some scenes. So this is the rainbow scene. I'm going to focus mostly on the festival scenes. So we have the Christmas. You can see it's a pretty cool light show that we can operate during the Christmas holiday. This one's fireworks. Candlelight. We'll do Easter. Halloween. Dance party. Happy. Night. Then we'll switch over to Halloween. This version, they have 4 different Halloween. The second one. Third one. And the last one. So I hope you enjoyed the lights that I was able to show you, and we'll wrap this up with my conclusion.
All right.
right, I'm going to go ahead and give you my final thoughts regarding the Govee permanent outdoor lights. We have them installed. They've been up for about 2 months now. So I'm going to go over the positives and negatives. First, we'll get the negative out of the way. The only real negative that I've come up with is there's not a warm white setting. So at nighttime, we're stuck with the cool light, the cool white color for our ambient lighting there. But other than that, all positives. So 2 months and there's not a single bulb that's hanging or fell or anything of that sort. We've had some crazy winds here, some rain, all kinds of different weather. So everything's in really good shape. Everything looks great. There's no issue at all with that. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure that there is a link in the description so that you can save the discount for your lights if you choose to buy. But I would go ahead and get those. We can use it for all the holidays: Christmas, Thanksgiving, Easter, July 4th. Halloween. There's plenty of holidays, so it'll be nice to have it up year round. I don't have to climb up and down the ladder during the Christmas holiday, which is already super busy for us. So it's real positive that we won't have those inconveniences anymore. So again, really a huge fan of the lights, and I would recommend that you purchase those as well. It's a huge discount over the professional versions that you can go out and buy and have professionally installed. So definitely recommend the Govee lights.